Hey guys, welcome to YouTube. No. Hi YouTube, welcome to guys. No. Dude, I'm so bad at YouTube. What's up guys, it's your boy Ethos here. Today I am bringing you guys a new tutorial on how to play the new map Pearl. So I know it's not released yet for you guys, but it will be released on June 22nd. I've already had a couple days to play it. I've had multiple hours to explore it, theory craft, think about stuff, and I think I'm finally ready to explain my perspective on how this map is going to play out in competitive play, ranked, unrated, spike rush, whatever the frick.
Hey, what's going on guys, Ethos here. Just wanted to say all these clips are taken from my stream. I stream every day at twitch.tv/ethos, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell, and join my Discord server down below. Enjoy the video.
First we can do a little quick walkthrough here. So there's an A site, you know, there's a couple little angles you can play from here. This is the A site. There's two entrances for the defense to come in through. There's also like a mid-link area, very similar to like how you like envision A link on Haven maybe, but this is just basically like for the splits, right? This is, you can kind of think of this as like a heaven, you know, this is kind of like the heavens of split maybe. And there's just one very confined A main. The map is massive, don't get me wrong, but it's very compact as well. A lot of really tight angles. You know, if you like using judges, buckies, this is gonna be another good map for you. But it is a very, very big map, very compact at the same time. The mid is a little intricate. There is a connector here that connects. This is like the kind of the way the CTs will rotate around for mid, and then here is like the more just open kind of courtyard for mid. There's two different ways you can fight it from defense, and there's two different ways you can fight it from offense as well. This is shop, this is top mid, this is art, and this is just doors or B-link, whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is where a lot of the engagements will be happening, and I feel like this map is going to be a lot about this part, just making sure and taking what's not yours. So it's like for the T side, you want to be not only getting the courtyard, but getting into the links, getting into A link or getting into B link. And from here, this is where you're really going to find the win conditions to actually win rounds on T side. And towards B, we just have a super long B long, super long, super open. Compared to the rest of the map, this is just completely different. It's super wide. Nothing will cover all of it. Not a stage wall, not a breach stun, not an omen flash, nothing. I would say treat this B long here the same way you would treat B long on Icebox, for example. You either play it, you know, super committed, super aggressive, doing risky plays or whatnot, or you just don't mess with it. You just leave it alone and just let them get up, and then you just play for sight instead. I think that is the two different ways you can play B long. There's not really a middle way to try and play it. The B side's a little intricate here. There's a back side here, very similar to like Boathouse, back B side Boathouse on Ascent. Staying alive here I think would be very crucial, and this is kind of like the exactly what I mean. It's like if you're not gonna mess with B long, then you can just play back here, let them run up, and then just play to stay alive here and make it really annoying for them to try to take sight. And now let's get into how I think that you should play this map, starting with the defense side, right? There's gonna be exceptions to everything. There can always be little gimmick plays you guys can do, maybe just 5-man rush, maybe 5-man play off, do something, right? Little like flash dash plays, you can do stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you generally how I think that this map will be played tactically in the 4D game of chess that we call Valorant. So here's an example comp. The comps I think is going to be very flexible. You could run either double initiator, double smokes, or double sentinel. I think that's just up to the team, however you want to play it. It's going to be very similar to like fracture, where there's just a lot of flexibility, a lot of viability for a lot of different comps, a lot of agents to shine, which is honestly what I like to see, and I think it'll open up to a lot more possibilities versus just the very one-dimensional, for example, old Icebox we had, or maybe old Ascent. We're running double sentinel and double smokes and single initiator, no duelist. The way that you could play like this with this comp, for example, right, is you just basically have the Killjoy and the Vipers set up on either extremities here. Let me end this game phase. So basically you have like, okay, Killjoy, your job is to just watch A, just spot for A, and then Viper's job is just to spot towards B, play retake B, maybe have like a retake wall, maybe something that goes up like this. Honestly would probably be fine. An orb on bomb, when they try to plant, you just molly it. For Killjoy, if they try to run in, you just molly the choke, so you molly the bomb, make it basically delay. Play to stay alive, play to delay, wait for your teammates to get there, and you guys can retake together. Make it difficult for them to get in. Basically, you guys are just the info gatherers and the delayers towards A and B, because again, the main priority of this map isn't the sites. The main priority is going to be mid control, because that's ultimately what's going to lead to the T side getting the sites. So towards mid, for example, here we had Chamber, KO, Astra, right? So Astra obviously is going to always be playing more of a passive role, being ready to support across the map globally. If we're getting pressure towards B, she'll throw a side smoke down, maybe a suck on the bomb to support the B player, vice versa if they're pressuring A. Just basically being more passive, being able to react with their stars and just throw it all around. And then Chamber and KO are doing most of the kind of map contesting, right? Taking most of the early engagements. And those three in the middle, Chamber, KO, and Astra, will just be the big rotators. They'll just rotate to whatever site is being taken, right? They'll just kind of shift accordingly. So for example, how you could do this, right, is maybe like KO could throw a dag here, you could throw a smoke top mid with Astra, and then you just get the Chamber like posted out here, for example, and then boom, like you just have mid control like that, you fight for it or whatever. Or like you guys can do it like more reactively, Chamber just out here with an op, and then KO could just put right here with the right click flash. Chamber takes the shot, TPs away, KO throws a right click flash, swings, gets the follow-ups, and you can do that virtually anywhere, right? Like the Chamber could be here opping, you could be here, same thing, KO could be here, Chamber could be here opping, just like ready to just right click flash a second contact, just getting ready to fight, and they just rotate accordingly, right? That's why like the first contact with the KO flash is always gonna be strong. We see this on like Ascent and whatnot. Typically you could do it with the Jet too, but I think now Chamber is just the best person to do that kind of play with, because Jet now you have to charge the Jet, you have to prime the dash beforehand, before you know they're gonna peek, but you don't even know when they're gonna peak. So I think that's gonna be really good. So Chamber, KO, they're just a pack, they just rotate. Astra is just gonna throw whatever util is being asked of her, right, and just spot whatever part. And also another thing too is like if Chamber and KO are playing like here, for example, then you put the other Chamber trip like here, and like basically Astra could maybe leave a star for herself here, and then just basically suck off the trip being triggered, and then Chamber and KO are watching each other's backs, they're just trading out with each other, and then just fast rotate. Boom, like that's pretty much it. If they go B, the B guy just delays, wait for the rotates to come in, and luckily we have majority mid, so the rotates will be quick. Same thing if they go towards A, the A guy delays, same thing, mid guys just rotate, and boom, the rotates are quick because we have mid control. Okay, so that's the big thing. The number one thing you don't want to happen on this map, I found on defense, is you do not want to give them the links, because that's what they want as well. You do not want to let them have this control. You don't want them to get into here. If the enemy team is in here, they are in such a better advantage, because not only do they have this control and they could choose wherever they want to go, they're also cutting off your rotates. You can't rotate as easily. Now you only have one way to rotate, which is through this long path. Okay, so your priority as the three mid guys is to just deny them from being able to get this control, because if they can get this control here, then you're in a really bad position. The site guys are it's gonna be a lot harder for the site guys to hold on and delay, because usually they have the molly here, maybe a molly on bomb. Like now if you're towards B and they have that B link control, right, you can't really be playing backside as easily anymore. You kind of have to fall back to more passive spot like this, or maybe like this, right? Because now they can peek from here and here. So you do not want them to get into the links. That is 100% should be your priority on defense. This is kind of like the winning piece right here. This is like them taking your queen. You do not want them to be getting into the CT mid. Also with like a comp like this, right, that's not to say that like Chamber can't float. Like you don't want always to play Chamber and KO towards mid, since he is really your only float player. As Chamber, you want it to be unpredictable. You can bring Chamber towards A. So like you can do something like this where you like get out deep, you know, take a deep angle here. Maybe KO can even knife like inside of here, which will get like a lot of this, and you'll know if they're there. If there's nothing there, you can just immediately get this deep angle here like that. Let's say there's no one here, no one comes here after 30 seconds, you just throw your trip down here and boom. And also your KO is just like over here spotting towards mid as well, and your Ash is spotting towards here. Maybe even having your Killjoy controlling mid with her util. There's a lot of different things you can do with Chamber. I think Chamber is going to be really good on this map. Another thing you can do like towards B, for example, that I think is really good. Throwing like a TP here, and I think this will be a really sick off angle, you know. I thought of this off angle, so make sure to credit me if you use it. Okay, if you get up to here and then play like an angle like this, and the reason why this is a good off angle is because, for example, I'll just show you on T side. What you can do is what people will usually do is they'll flash this corner just in case there's someone opping like this, right? And like that's a very common op spot, and you have to be very aware of that. So usually they'll just bang a flash to do this, and then when they come out, we're like, oh, there's no one opping here, and then they come out. So then usually what people do when they take B long is they want to cross it here for cover and clear more of it. When they cross it here, you see like this off angle right there, that's where you're gonna be standing. They're not gonna be like ready for that, you know what I mean? So when they're crossing, boom, you're right there. It's a pretty good off angle. You get your one, you get out. So that's also a good off angle there. You can play, you can also do the same thing, maybe like towards up here. If you just basically get on top of here, with your TP, and then just basically hold for people to like come up or like swing this side and just basically take your shot. Obviously doing this, you have to be aware that if you stick around for too long, there's a chance that they could just look down here. If nothing goes on for a while, you can always, same ideas towards A, you just throw a trip here and a TP out and boom, you have deep info. Same thing as towards A, right? And in the meanwhile, you can have your Viper or your Killjoy controlling mid, and then the other guy anchoring the site, KO supporting you, Astra's filling the gap pretty much, okay? Maybe you want to run the Jet comp, okay? And then the Jet comp was Jet, Breach, Astra, or I mean, you can realistically do Astra, Omen, or Brim, right? But I think that, like, you know, if you're running a Breach, an Astra is good, but if you're running a Jet, Omen is also good, right? So it's a lot of different variability. I think Omen and Jet have a lot of good plays they can do together. Also, this map does suit Omen very well in terms of a lot of verticality, a lot of different high spots that he can play, a lot of different things he can TP into, right? Which is really nice. But Astra has that global util with a map like this where like the rotates can be super long. Being able to support your team from anywhere on the map is super strong and super helpful. So Astra can also be viable, and Brim too, because this map can also be seen as like a split where it's like timing is everything on these execs. You just want to have that explosive pop power, and no other controller is going to have that immediate just 0 to 100 real quick 5-man exec A, 5-man exec B kind of power, because he just immediately just goes off. The smokes go down in 1 second. They didn't even know that they were coming. Whereas versus Astra, you put the stars down first and then they know that you have stars down here. It's like, okay, they put stars A, so they have an idea, they can start to react a little bit, right? But with Brim, just immediate smokes go, flash goes, Jet dashes, boom. There's a lot of different ways to play this map, and I think this map suits a lot of different play styles, which is why I'm super excited to see. But for the sake of this, right, let's say we're gearing the controller to suit more the Breach versus the Jet, so we're running an Astra over the Omen, Jet, Breach, Astra, then we have maybe Chamber, Astra, Chamber, Astra, Sky, okay, or KO. So for example, you have your Jet and Breach, right? Or let's say that this guy's an Omen, right? For example, some of the aggro plays you can do very like similar to how Vision Strikers first introduced this, right? There's a lot of like dash plays you can do, right? So immediately just off the bat, you smoke this and then just dash into here. You could have a Breach flash from here, a KO flash from there, or you could have an Omen flash from here, right? And then boom, immediately, because the Omen flash will blind all this. I think it's strongest with Omen. But even like a KO, there's a way to KO pop flash into here, just like that, or you just have Breach throw flash through this wall and just immediately dash right out the barrier. There's stuff you can do like that on this map. This is very cool. You just smoke. You don't even need to throw that smoke. You just dash out of the doors, honestly. I just smoke because it's like good practice, and if it's like KO, like I don't have to worry about getting blinded because I dash after the flash pops. That's some aggro stuff you can do, and the same idea as the whole Jet like kind of KO ideas. You just put the duelist, the float duelist guy, the floater, right, with the flasher, right, and then in this case Chamber would be like an anchor, right, and then Chamber and KO can have their own thing going, or Chamber and Sky or whoever, right? Chamber and Sky can be doing like something where Chamber's playing for like maybe like an op angle like this, right, and then TP's away, and then you just have like KO just bank out a flash from here and just swing. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like 1-2s you can do. This is a comp that's more for like the aggro, like the fast players, the guys who want to do more like the, I don't want to say gimmicky stuff, but it is kind of gimmicky stuff. You guys it allows you more options to go on the offensive, even on defense, which is nice, right? Another note I want to make just about how to like properly play as a solo anchor if you're just playing to stay alive and delay, right? I'm the Killjoy, for example, right? I would have like my turret here, maybe like a molly here, then maybe like an alarm bot molly on the bomb to really slow them down. Basically what I would do is like, okay, like they take contact off the first turret swing, you just pop that molly and maybe swing if you want. But if you're really just playing to stay alive, your goal is just to stay alive, I wouldn't even peek. I would just pop that first molly off the turret, right, back up, and just hold this line here, and then wait for my teammates to come, then pop the second molly off the alarm bot, and boom, you're staying alive and you're delaying. But most importantly is you're holding map control, because what you're basically like, you're choosing what to give them and what you won't give them, okay? So what you're not giving them is like this site, back site here, right? But you're letting them have front site. They just gotta, you know, take a little bit of damage, maybe slow down a little bit for it, but you're ultimately giving it to them. You're not really contesting it with your gun, and that's fine because you don't want to die there. You don't want to die fighting for that. But what you want to do is you want to stay here, which is usually just going to be like 1 or 2 people fighting you, so it's a lot better of a fight for you to take in the first place. And doing this basically allows you to just like complete step 1 of the retake, which is to retake this, because if you die, now your teammates have to do this step of retaking this first, and then they can go retake. you know what I mean? Or like playing back here. Like you just want to choose to like basically contain them so they don't get more than what they should be getting, okay? Because if they get too much map control on the side take, then it's gonna be hard to retake. So your goal here is to 1, delay, 2, stay alive, and 3, hold map control, okay? You do not want to just give them like this and this, because if they have that, then it's gonna be really, really hard to retake. Same idea as like, you know, like as like if you, let's say you're the Ash, you're playing here just off a trip, right? And they're coming in, right? You just want to make sure that they're not, you want to like be focused on this, make sure that they're not getting in deep to here. You just want to be containing, holding map control, making sure that you have this so that basically you guys get a head start on the retake and you guys don't have to retake this and then that and then that, and then you can actually start retaking the site, right? It's basically just giving you guys a head start when you guys do want to retake and you already have step 1 complete. That about does it for defense. Let's talk about offense, okay? So I have a couple ideas for offense here. I guess right off the bat, like I'll just get some of the gimmick ideas out the way, right? You can absolutely do some like really aggressive like flash dash plays like this, with like either a breach flash going here, maybe a KO flash popping through here, or a breach stun, or I mean breach stun might be a little harder to pull off because of how wide this is, or maybe like an omen blind, right? You can definitely do aggressive like that if you know that they play doors and you just want to get this control quick and not even worry about fighting these guys here. Something like that would be extra nice. If you have a KO, you could throw your knife to here or here. Throwing a knife here is really strong, but knifing for art, the best way to throw a knife for art is to throw a knife like this through the window, like that. Right there. Just through here, just right into that corner. That's the best way to knife art. It gets like everything. So that's like one good way to really like push him back, but mid control again is like kind of the key. So like doing these aggro things is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. But so if you do run this like comp, you can do stuff like this, dash into doors, or for example, right, you can do it from like here, smoke like here, because like again the barrier is like back here, so you can do this without really getting contested right away. So you can just like pop your dash, do this, and then pop flash in, dash, and boom. There's a good way to pop flash this with KO. There's also a good way to do this with, I mean, obviously with breach or whatever. You can even do this with Sky. The way you do this with Sky is basically you would smoke there, dash in, and then you would wait for the flash, the Sky flash to come through the smoke, pop, and then you'd come through at the other side. So there's different ways you can do it, but there's definitely good ways to actually take these parts of the map. And again, on T side, your bread and butter for the most part, I believe, is going to be splits. So it's going to be trying to get art control, alien control. It's trying to get control of the links here. So like you go through doors, get this control here, get this control, and boom. If you have this control, you are really set up well to take either side. You're really set up well, and the defense is on the back foot at that point if you can get this control, especially if you get kills. But even if you don't get kills, even if it's still a 5v5 and they just gave it up for some reason, you're still in a really good spot to split, as long as you're aware of doing this, okay? So there's a lot of different ways you can play it. So like that's mid default, I think will be very, very strong, but also like just taking a default, making a presence will also be good as well. Just showing that, maybe making sure like that they don't push up. It's going to be reactive to knowing how the defense plays. Maybe let's say that they were doing the chamber, getting the chamber posted up here, right? You can immediately just push them off, right? You can put like the killjoy turret here, have like one of your smoke players like lurk over here. Basically this turret here, let me switch to killjoy here. So let's say you're playing killjoy on offense side, right? Kind of like Haven, right? Kind of how like you default A on Haven. You throw the turret up mid, right? This will basically spot if they peek here, basically knowing if the enemy team at all goes for mid control, right? Because even if you're not fighting for mid, you want to know if they're fighting for mid, okay? And then you just have like one teammate, basically his only job is to hold for this push, make sure they're not getting too aggro. They can just play behind this pillar if they want, right? And play to get out or whatever, just get that control, like maybe kill them if they're pushing up, if they get too greedy, right? A lot of times when you make a lot of noise towards A, they'll get a little greedy, push through here, and then maybe this guy will get like a free pick, basically the B flank holder, right? He's just have a guy watch flank, okay? And then you just have your killjoy turret watch this, right? Maybe killjoy could even like play the lurk around here or just group with the team, because this turret allows you to get real close up. And basically the rest of the guys, right? Who is it? It's let's say it's chamber, KO, and Astra, for example, right? And we just have Viper defaulting towards B with their util. Okay, let's chamber KO Asher. You guys are just basically denying this guy from getting close at all. You throw your knife here, maybe make sure that he's not pushing up. If he is, you disable his TP. Maybe he TP's out already. If he's not, you can throw a flash. There's a way to throw a flash that like pops right here in the sky. Throw the flash there, and then Jet can just swing with it, and boom, you just have a main control. You have pushed them all back out of sight. If you know that they like getting aggressive towards A, you push them back, and you've kind of ruined their plans a little bit, right? You want to be reactively calling whatever, like your default is based off of what they're doing and trying to up their setups as much as possible. You want to mess up their setups as much as possible. Okay, so you get that control right, and then like you have all this pressure towards A. You're also ready to go. For example, what you could do as maybe the killjoy lurking towards mid, you could walk down, because if this turret doesn't spot anything towards here, you know that there's no one peeking and it's free, and you can just walk down into like this cubby here. Maybe play like a super late lurk, just super late lurk through there. In which case, like here you'd be like kind of the pivotal person in the default, and be like, hey guys, just go A, I'll get him behind them. Or hey guys, I hear him all rotating towards A, start walking back towards B or something, right? Basically, you're the lurk, you're set up for a good lurk here, and this is really good. You can listen to rotations of that turret. No, exactly. So it's like this turret will spot basically if anyone gets too greedy trying to walk out mid for free. Okay, and you can also play like, you know, maybe swinging off this turret too. Like if they shoot this turret from here, you can just do that as well, which is like gonna be annoying because they already probably started their spray here, and you have first pull accuracy and you can win out that fight. You can play like that if you'd like. I often don't recommend it too much because sometimes it's, you know, the higher level they could be opping or something. So yeah, there's that. Or like if you throw this turret down, you can even cross to here and like peek off the turret from this side too. There's a lot of different ways you can play it. And then the Viper, like we're making a lot of noise towards A. The Viper, who would probably be lurking here, could, you know, throw her wall up and her orb up, and then potentially just cross with this and just get like real deep. Same thing, just kind of just slowly work this map, because again, there's not many ways to play B long without just opping it. So there you go. You can work a lurk here and then have those guys work A, or you could even do B long default. I think B long default isn't gonna make as much sense. B long in the same way also, right? Like I don't think that B long is as important as like the other parts of the map, like mid, like A. I think mid is the most important, A main is the second most important, and then B long is the least important, with mid being the like by far the most important. Okay, so, which is why like if I were to run A default, the step 2 would probably be go back and then go take mid after we pushed him out of A main, after we've set up a lurk towards A. We go back after we've taken this control, we go back and we rework mid and leave that guy to just be quiet towards A. I think that is probably the better way to look at this map. And like it's the same way as like C long and Haven, right? Like you like on Haven, right? You have an A default, you have a mid default, right? There really isn't a C long default. There is no C long default, because what does that really provide for you? That map control is pretty useless, to be honest. Not useless, it's not fully useless, but there's not much you can do with it, right? There's not a whole lot of options, not a whole lot of opportunity, and it's not even that much pressure, right? It's not even that much pressure, because like the options is like, okay, we can either go C or just not go C, right? It's like that's it. So I really think that this is definitely the least important. So here, let me just show you guys a few example strats, okay? Just a few example strats that I think you guys could run pretty nicely, okay? So here's one here. You do something like this. Yeah, just put an alarm bell like right here. Yeah. Okay, you just put an alarm bot here, right? Just in case, like, if anyone gets a little bit cheeky towards B, they might like try to flank B. That's the only thing, right? So this is basically what Killjoy is doing. Okay, you could still have Viper throw his normal like default like util towards B or whatever, like his wall, and then you just have like your Asher like lurking here or something, right? Your Asher lurking A just behind this box or something real slow. And then basically what I think would be good is just have Asher throw a smoke like this, smoke like that, and then just have your duelist or chamber or your jet or whatever, and then your initiator, and then the other person, the Viper, whatever, just go through mid, just go take through mid doors, right? And then maybe throw like an Asher smoke like here and like pick it up maybe, right? Something like that. You just immediately just either stun that, knife it, flash it, dash it, run it up, just basically go fast doors here. If there's one guy here, there's like a couple things he'll do. He'll either take the fight and die, or he'll just fall off, and you have the smoke like going for you right here. And then basically like this is a lot of, or like a smoke going for right here, and this is a lot of pressure, right? And basically what you guys do is, so I'll just show it on the mini map here, okay? Basically those three guys wrap through here, while the Killjoy lurks out to here, and then the Asher lurks to here. Okay, now imagine how insane that would be. All right, Like a strat like this where it's like the killjoy just immediately walks out, same idea, right? His turret's here, so like he can confidently just walk out here for free. And what a lot of people do when this door is getting pressured, maybe a guy tries to go behind them and he gets spotted by the turret, he gets spotted by the killjoy, he gets killed, whatever, right? But that's like one scenario. Then these three guys just run in through here. This is smoked, they run through here, maybe this is smoked, and they just run through, go all the way through. It's like an around the world kind of strat. They go through here, looks like we're doing a B split, but no, we actually turn around and we go do like a 3-pronged A split through here, and then the killjoy comes late through here through art, and then we have the Astra lurking up through A main for anyone pushing late, and then boom, we're just splitting A like that. So like this is like a couple examples of what that second layer of links can allow for you, is to allow you to just do these crazy, like, you know, pump fake splits and whatnot. That's just one example. And vice versa, you could do something where you go through art and then go to this link and then go to B. I feel like that would be a little harder to do for some reason. I just feel like it's a little like tighter going the other way around, but still very, very viable. And I think just in general, just doing this mid control to like get control of this area here, like just like anywhere in the CT links will just set you up for success on the T side, as long as you're also making sure that you have like a guy here, like a guy here or whatever, right? Being able to just like do like the pincer attack. But yeah, that's just one example. Anyways, that about does it mainly for like how I think this map should be played. I guess we can talk about, like, obviously I'm not going to get into specific about agents and ults or whatever, but like different ways to like play post plant. Like on A, this is probably the safest spot to plant. You can't get wall banged here, and unless there's a guy like backside, you can wall bang from there, or like plant like anywhere here. It'll be fine depending on what you have, stage wall, smokes, or whatever, to allow you to do that. And then post plant positions, have a guy like play back here. You have like a guy like play like around this box here, and then have like a guy like A main, and but like being aggressive, then, or you have like two options: either like play aggressive and like go fight them as they're trying to retake, or just play off or whatever and just hold and like play for time. Like those are the two options, and that's usually pretty true about all the sites. Also about like Viper, I guess I'll show you guys Viper because I guess that's pretty important. Like my idea is, if you were to run a Viper on this map on T side, you can do stuff, you can do a lot of funky stuff here. Okay, it's like you throw like a Viper wall like this, kind of like the Viper wall on Icebox, I guess. Viper wall like this, you could stage wall this and then plant here, right? Or ideally you can get up to this part and then wall like this. Planting here is probably the best plant spot because it's, you know, it's spammable. Like if you do get into here or here or whatever, it's spammable from those areas, but it's also very easy to peek from B long. Whereas if you plant it here, they can defuse behind this corner and it's not really like that good for B long. And like if you are able to plant there, you can do like mollies, right? Like you could play mollies if you wanted to from like, oops. So like this is like for the close plant, and like this is like for like the deeper plant. Like you could like play mollies very, very easily, right? So there's that, right? Which is nice. But I think just like being able to like default your Viper wall like this, and maybe like getting an orb that lands, like I'm not sure like how much this orb covers here, but okay, yeah, that's pretty annoying to deal with. Like there's not really an angle you can play around with this. So like, yeah, getting an orb that like lands here, like you can pretty much just deny like so much info, like just basically info starve the defense, just using this util. And like I don't have a strict lineup for that, but I can find one very, very easily. But yeah, you can do something like that very simply as a Viper and just default B long pretty much with your util. And that's why I think having double smokes will be really nice on this, which is why I think that maybe the second variation, the second comp that I have that doesn't have a jet but has a chamber and a breach might be better. Sorry, not a breach, but like a KO. What am I talking about, bro? Would be really nice. So I think that'd be really nice. Yeah. Anyways, that about does it for my just general tutorial on how this map is gonna be played. Even at the highest level, I think is gonna be played. There's a lot of variability, a lot of potential, but I think I've covered a good amount of how, like, what type of map this is and what type of playstyles this map suits, what type of comps, what type of agents this map suits. And like I couldn't even get to like all of them. Like there's a lot of different ways you can play this map. You could run a Sage. Sage is really good on this map. You could run a Neon even. Your Raze is going to be really, really good on this map too. It's really just about how you want to play the map, how your team wants to play the map. That's what's really going to be the definer. Like don't just copy whatever like other people are doing. Like find the playstyle that suits you and your teammates or your friends the best and run it with that, because there's a lot of different ways you can play this map. The only agents that I don't think are going to be as strong as this map are going to be like obviously Phoenix, right? Because he's just not very good on any map. And then Sova is honestly this is gonna be one of his weaker maps, and Cypher I think it's gonna be one of his weaker maps. All the other agents could be argued for in terms of viability, and I think they could all bring something unique to the table when it comes to this map. So anyways guys, I hope you guys are as excited to play this map on June 22nd on the live servers as I am. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell for more videos like this in the future. I do enjoy doing tutorial and just kind of regurgitating what's coming through my brain and out for you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you